This episode is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform for building a cool-looking and professional website. Let's keep hunting for dream homes. In Tuscany. The last time we were in Tuscany was a little over a year ago, where we experienced the hilltop town of Cortona. It's been too long. So today, I'm taking you to the city of Arezzo, a city famous for its Etruscan and Renaissance heritage. While here, we'll dine in a typical restaurant to get a taste of some of Arezzo's most famous dishes, and tour a dream home dating back to the 1400s. Andiamo. There's something about the atmosphere in Tuscany. And Arezzo, known as the City of Gold, perfectly exemplifies the magic of this wonderful region. An ancient Etruscan settlement turned Roman city turned Renaissance powerhouse. As I wander its streets, I start to imagine what it would be like to live in such a beautiful location. Arezzo is a provincial capital, so it's full of restaurants and shops. It's also full of events and expositions, many of which take place in its main square, the stunning Piazza Grande. This is the heart of the historical city center with monuments such as the Palazzo della Fraternità, the Church of Pieve di Santa Maria Assunta, and the neoclassical Fonte Pubblica. At the highest point of the city, overlooking the surrounding green valleys, we have the Cathedral of Saints Peter and Donatus, whose construction started in 1278 and finished only in 1511. Its interior is truly a sight to behold. And a step outside will bring you to Palazzo dei Priori, Arezzo's City Hall and museum to many works of art. So Arezzo is a town of 96,000. It's the provincial capital here, so it is a big city with lots of movement. However, it's very green, lots of green fields all around it. We have tons of green parks in Arezzo. And fittingly so, its name derives from the Etruscan goddess Artume, who was the goddess of forests. That is the Roman equivalent of the goddess Diana. Anyways, this is the statue of Petrarca behind me. Arezzo is also famous for being the hometown of Petrarca, one of the fathers of the Italian language. I actually don't know how to sing opera, but what I do know is a good website when I see one. And thanks to Squarespace, the sponsor of today's video, anybody can build a beautiful and professional website in a matter of minutes. Let me show you how easy it is. Let's say you're a photographer. Squarespace has a built-in AI tool to assist you with building your pages section by section. With just a few clicks, you can add new sections, all sorts of new pages, even a web shop. You can also customize the design with different color palettes or font styles to match your own branding. Your site's first draft will take you a whole 5 minutes. Then it's just a matter of adding your own photos or choosing the myriad of free high-quality stock photos Squarespace puts at your disposal. So head to squarespace.com/JustDreamItaly to try it out for free, and when you're ready to publish, use my code JustDreamItaly to get 10% off the first purchase of your website or domain. Obviously, no stop would be complete in a new Italian city without stopping at a typical restaurant. I hear this one here is one of the best, one of the most typical, and also the owner is the neighbor of the home that we're going to be seeing. So I hear they have some good duck. It's a good amount of options. Okay, so they've just brought the first dish. This is called pici al cinghiale. So this is a ragu sauce made with cinghiale, which is a wild boar. The pici are homemade. All of the pastas here are homemade. I've had pici before. It's my favorite type of spaghetti just because it's a bit thicker. It's a bit more al dente than what you would get with egg-type homemade pastas. Looks spectacular, smells even better. So it's wild boar, and that obviously means that it has a more gamey taste than like a regular ragu sauce would have, but it's not very overpowering. It just gives it that little extra kick. Very good. For the second dish, we're going for something as typical as possible. This is the duck. I heard the duck here was stupendous. It looks like it's very crunchy on the outside, very flavorful, accompanying with roast potatoes, and this is a wild asparagus. Let's try it out. There's something about duck among all the birds. So flavorful. This is called anatra in porchetta. They call it in porchetta because it's crispy on the outside. It's the way that they cook it. They said anything can be in porchetta. Fish can be in porchetta. Rabbit can be in porchetta. Just look at the color of that meat. So there you go, a full lunch, 30 euros. Should have been 34. They gave me a discount because they get intimidated when they see the cameras. I always tell them not to, but everybody's too generous. So full lunch like that, let's say 34 euros. Not bad. Anyways, let's go see that dream home for sale. So we've made it to the house that we're seeing today in the Centro Storico of Arezzo. It's called a terratetto. So it starts at the ground floor, goes all the way up to the top, around 300 square meters, asking price 410,000. This is unique because it was built in the 1400s. So just a really beautiful, a really historic building with characteristics inside that are just charming. So let's go inside, we'll have a look. We'll start the tour from the street level. This is a typical Tuscan palette on the building. So the facade is painted yellow with the green window shutters. You'll see lots of buildings all throughout Tuscan cities have this color scheme. Walking through the main door, the beautiful iron decorations in the doorway there. The property is on the first floor and the second floor. So we'll walk up one flight of stairs to get to the main part of the property. See beautiful artwork on the way up. And when arriving to this top, we can either go left or right. We're going to go to the right, and that brings us into this beautiful living room. This living room contains elements that I love, that are always very charming. The Cementina tiles. It's a big, ample, light-filled living space. The ceilings are this typical Central Italian wooden beams with brick ceiling. And you can see on the other end, lots of light being let in via those arches, those glass arches. I mentioned before starting the tour, the total square meters of the property is around 300. It's more precisely 330. So this first floor is about 160 square meters, and the floor above is 160 square meters. So it's a very big property. We'll head to the back of this space. You'll see there's a hallway going to the back there, and this brings us into the central courtyard. So this is an exclusive courtyard. That door there in the back, you'll see how we get there. And there's also another level, and that's coming from the floor above us of this property. So you can see by the structure, the layout is very interesting. In these old towns with these old buildings, a lot of it is very organic. And so buildings are never a perfect square or a perfect rectangle. Towards this side of the courtyard, we have a basement. So this is a cellar space. So this could be a perfect wine cellar or storage space. And around the corner is where there's the furnace and other practicals for the property. We'll head back up. So this is a unique feature of this home as well. When you're in a historical center, it's not always that you have an outdoor space. Sometimes you'll have balconies, sometimes you'll have kind of small terraces, but an actual inner courtyard, that's something unique. Of a peek back there into this very elegant living room, which I love. Definitely the highlight, in my opinion, the biggest highlight room of the property. And at this end of the hallway, we have the bathroom. So the kind of powder room, the practical bathroom on this side of the living room. And here in the back, the dining room kitchen on the first floor. You can see separated by that arch. So this side of it would be the dining room, and in the back there, the kitchen. It's a complete kitchen. It's a very big space. There to the right is a cupboard inbuilt into the walls. And we have a peek here onto the neighbor's garden. This isn't a garden belonging to this property, but the neighbor keeps it in good enough shape that there's a nice view of green when you peek your head out the window. When you're living in Italy and all of these homes are tight, one next to the other, one next to the other, you can always peek your head out the window, talk to a neighbor, and there's a real community feeling to living in neighborhoods like this. So this is the kitchen. You can see the kitchen goes all along that back wall, and it brings us then into the laundry room. So this is the laundry room. There's the water heater there mounted on the wall. And this wraps all the way around actually and brings us back out into the courtyard. So this is that door that we saw right when we came out from the hallway behind the living room. Looking up, this is a better view. There's three balconies there on that second floor, which we'll also get a view from when we head up there. But let's make our way through this side of the first floor because we have a whole other wing to have a peek at before we head up the stairs. Now, this is the studio. This can be another bedroom. It's currently set up as a studio. Very nice, the typical Tuscan ceilings. And this has not the cementine tiles as the floor, but what's called a cotta, which is a type of brick floors. Also very typical of the area. A beautiful fireplace, functioning fireplace there in the back. And what we have here is the facade of the building. So we can take a peek out of the windows and see the street that we came up from before. So that street walking up there and going to the left actually brings us to the restaurant where we just ate at. And further down brings us to one of the corsi, so one of the main shopping arteries of Arezzo. So it's a very well located property in a calm residential street, but really just 100, 200 meters away from many services, restaurants, shops in the heart of Arezzo. I'd say this is a very privileged location, a very nice location. Now it is time to go up to the second floor. You can see a nice light well letting in plenty of light when you arrive to this level. Cementine tiles in a different style there to this left side. And we have stairs going up. This brings us to the first bathroom of this floor. So this is the second that we've seen so far. This has a bathtub, sink, toilet, bidet. So it is a complete bathroom. You'd be thinking, oh, but this bathroom is dark. There's no windows letting in light from the outside. And you would be wrong, because if you look up, there is a light well letting in light from above, from the roof. So plenty of light does get in here. And there's actually a door going up to the attic. So in addition to the two floors, there's actually a huge attic upstairs where there's plenty of storage space. I don't know if this can eventually be renovated into something else, but currently set up as an attic space. And the property is huge as is, so having ample storage space in the attic makes sense. And this isn't the only way of getting up into the attic, so it's not like you have to go to the attic via a bathroom always. This is one entry into that area. We'll head back down these stairs and go then to the left. And that brings us into one of the main bedrooms. I'd say that this might be the master bedroom. You have the bathroom and then the bedroom. This is once again a very big, expansive space, a big bedroom with beautiful new design of the floor tiles, the beautiful high ceilings. There to the right is an inbuilt closet. And this is the facade. So we can look out the window. We're already high enough to see the roof tiles of the neighbors. Gives us a little nice peek there onto the skyline of Arezzo, at least from what we can see from here, and looking down a view onto the street. But I'll walk back through and bring you then to this wing of this floor. This is more of the night quarters, this floor. So here's the other bathroom. So this would be that first bathroom that we saw. Let's say that's part of the master bedroom, and then this is the bathroom for the other bedrooms up here. Once again, beautifully designed light well cut into that Tuscan ceiling. In the back here, we have a shower, the toilet bidet, and kind of a separating wall there where they built in a bathtub. So very big bathroom here. So why did I choose this property? I chose this property because this would probably be a dream home of mine. This is something that I would dream of buying and living in. It kind of contains the characteristics of something that I would be buying if, we're looking in Arezzo. And so that's why I chose this property, though. The beautiful floors, the beautiful ceilings, lots of space, inner courtyard, perfect location, and actually a really, really nice price for all that you're getting. So really checks so many boxes. Now, these are those three doors you can see New doors. These aren't old, so double paned and insulates from heat, cold very nicely. Looking down, this brings us the view of the inner courtyard from down there. That's actually the street level. So Arezzo's on a hill. So even though we're on the second floor here, that's because the street below is on a lower part of the hill. This is common in these Tuscan hilltop towns. So it looked like we're high if you walk up all the stairs, but then you look out the back and you're actually at street level again. So it's an interesting sensation. Anyways, this is the third bedroom on this floor. A whole nother design, a beautiful design, I must say, of these floor tiles here. You can see heating on those walls. These are called voltine, so the little vaults. Another Tuscan style of ceiling, actually, different from the beams with the brick. And now we're at the back side of the building, so we don't have the view of the street, but we have the view of that neighbor's garden. Very nice, very green, despite being in the center of a city. All these bedrooms are really big, and so you also have plenty of room for wardrobes, closets, and other types of furniture. And we'll turn right here. This is the other way of going up to the attic. So you didn't have to go through that bathroom. You can also go up to the attic via this stairwell. And then here, surprise, another kitchen. So this has a kitchen on the floor below and the floor up here. So if you want to eat at night, you don't have to go all the way downstairs. You have a practical kitchen on this floor as well, and a complete kitchen. It's a kitchen, dining room, with an oven, with space for a refrigerator. And this is the door which brings us up to that higher level of the inner courtyard, giving us a view there of the street behind us, some of these other nice buildings, and a look below into the courtyard and this inner facade of this beautiful, beautiful building. Definitely one of the most interesting offerings on the market at the moment in Arezzo. So what did you think about this home in the heart of Arezzo? I hope you enjoyed this little tour of the city and this tour of this beautiful home for sale. As always, you can write to me, marco@justdreamitaly.com, if you're interested in this beautiful home, or if you're interested in working with a buyer's agent. Also, if you like what I'm doing on this channel, check out my Patreon, like, subscribe, comment below. Where would you like me to go to next? Ciao, guys.